Welcome everyone to Jimmy John's Field on this very overcast Thursday. Brian Fisher with Dan Dobler here. And today, the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers take on the Eastside Diamond Hoppers.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a great matchup, and especially, like you said, it's very damp out there today. Just quite mist coming down.
It was raining pretty much all day, and even though the forecast said it wasn't, so the grass out there, they even still have the tarp not completely rolled up yet, as you can see in the outfield, but it has stopped raining recently. Well, finally, like Dan, you said, it's been a light mist most of the afternoon, so the game should go on. The game should start on time.
Thankfully, it's not the rain that we had on Sunday.
Yeah, we don't want the dugouts flooding anymore. That would be bad.
Yeah.
But the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers and the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. The Beavers are 3-4, and the Hoppers are 5-2. The Hoppers are in first place in the league, while the Beavers are leading their division. Both are division leaders, but Hoppers have the overall best record.
Yes, and both coming off of huge wins last weekend. Especially, let's start with Saturday's night's game with the Eastside Diamond Hoppers getting the win in the first extra inning game of the season we've seen at Jimmy John's Field. And then the second matchup for the Birmingham Beavers, which was on Sunday last week, and what a performance by Kevin Matthews.
Yeah, it really was. He pitched absolutely phenomenally that day, and that was the Sunday game where it ended up getting rained out. That ended up being a no-hitter in favor of the Beavers as well. Now, technically, it's a short no-hitter because we only got 5.5 innings in that day.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge game. Kevin Matthews with the rain-shortened no-hitter. We're going to count it, but it's going to be huge. Both coming off of huge wins, but it's going to be close because, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, they're known when you get them on the base pads, they're deadly.
Yes, they are. They often execute that double steal, and it works almost every time.
Yes.
We have not seen a whole lot of throws or pickoffs at second. We've had a lot of clean steals. The pitchers don't really watch their runners that often, as we've seen with the stats from last year and stats from this year about how often that they successfully steal. Last time these two teams played each other, it was in favor of the Beavers. Even though the Beavers ended up committing 6 errors that ball game, they had an explosive fifth inning, as we've talked about multiple times, where that was led off by Denandre Clark, where he had a bases-clearing triple. So it's kind of a little bit of see if the Hoppers can overcome that today. And with the slick grass, you might see a few more extra errors, people sliding out there. It's been, like I said, it's been raining most of the day.
Yeah, like you said, it's a little mist coming down, but that doesn't keep the fans from coming out here to Jimmy John's Field. Now, how about the Birmingham Beavers? Guess who's back for them? Nick Wilson.
Yeah, he coming back from his fantastic year last year.
He batting average last season led the league with a 340 average.
That's crazy good.
490 on base percentage, 17 home runs. That's when he led the league in, and 41 RBIs. And he only played 44 games last season.
Yeah, and 17 home runs in 44 games is ridiculously high, considering MLB players struggle to get 30 home runs across 162 games.
Yeah, he was the co-MVP last season of the league. But remember, he was drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2014 and was released in 2015, which brought him back here to USPBL for 2016 season. So, he's been doing quite damage, especially earlier this week in their closed games.
Yeah, and tonight is also a special night because it is boy band night here at Jimmy John's Field.
Who was your favorite again?
Oh, I have to go with Backstreet Boys, all the way.
I said New Kids on the Block last week.
Well, I'm sure we'll hear a lot of that tonight, and we're going to have some dances going on as well. As we get ready for the starting lineups for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, we'll send it down to the field for that.
Everybody, yes, it's boy band night. It's Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for baseball. And first, let's welcome the visiting team, the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, managed by Chris Newell. The starting lineups for today's games are sponsored by AAA of Michigan. Leading off and batting first from Hayward, California, the left fielder number 26, Denandre Clark. Batting second from Deming, New Mexico, the third baseman number 10, Dan Kennan. Batting third from Decatur, Georgia, the first baseman number 6, Nick Wilson. Batting fourth from Pearland, Texas, the right fielder number 3, Nick Buckner. Batting fifth from Fairfax, Virginia, the catcher number 4, Bobby San Martin. Batting sixth from Louisville, Ohio, tonight's designated hitter number 2, John Craig. Batting seventh from Phoenix, Arizona, center fielder number 11, Gerard Hernandez. Batting eighth from Montpelier, Virginia, the shortstop number 1, DJ Martinez. Batting ninth from Queens, New York, the second baseman number 13, Thomas Rulis. And the starting pitcher for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers tonight from Lawson, Michigan, number 24, Brian Bayless. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring on your home team for today's game, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, managed by Paul Nochi. Leading off and batting first from East Bridgewater, Massachusetts, the center fielder number 1, Brendan O'Brien. Batting second from Pleasanton, California, the right fielder number 13, Joe Maroney. Batting third from Lumberton, North Carolina, left fielder number 22, Chris Power. Batting fourth from Brooklyn, New York, the first baseman number 21, Esteban Gomez. Batting fifth from Virginia Beach, Virginia, the second baseman number 2, Cam Stewart. Batting sixth from Elmhurst, Illinois, tonight's designated hitter number 12, John Mencken. Batting seventh from Toll House, California, third baseman number 5, Casey Chenoweth. Batting eighth from the Dominican Republic, the shortstop number 7, Ricky Castro. Batting ninth from Tallahassee, Florida, the catcher number 4, Kyle Figueroa. And the starting pitcher for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers tonight, from Clarkston, Michigan, number 11, Matt Rogers. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats. Veterans and active military may keep their caps on while rendering the hand salute as we honor America and our military with the singing of our national anthem, tonight being performed by Linda Gear.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
What a spectacular job. Let's give her a hand.
All right, welcome back, everyone. And in case you missed it, Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here. I will repeat the starting lineup for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. And leading off for them, the left fielder, number 26, DeAndre Clark. Batting second, the third baseman, number 10, Dan Kennan. Batting third, the first baseman, number 6, Nick Wilson. Batting fourth, the right fielder, number 3, Nick Buckner. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 4, Bobby San Martin. Batting sixth, the DH, number 2, John Crank. Batting seventh, the center fielder, number 13, Gerard Hernandez. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 1, DJ Martinez. Batting ninth, the second baseman, number 13, Thomas Rulis. And on your defensive sides of things, your catcher is Kyle Figueroa. You got Esteban Gomez out there at first base. You have Stewart out there at second base. Castro at shortstop. Chenoweth at third base. Power in left field. O'Brien in center. And Maroney in right field. And starting pitching for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers is Matt Rogers. And on the season, Dan, he is 1-0 with a 2.25 ERA and 5 strikeouts.
Not too shabby.
Not too bad. Only one. I mean, he's only played, I believe, 1 game played so far, but he's done good work. Only 1 earned run in his first game out, so he's done a pretty good job. His WHIP is a solid 1, so he's only given up. He gave up 1 base runner per inning, 2 walks, 2 singles. So he does a pretty good job out there.
Yeah, Rogers out of Clarkston, Michigan.
Yeah, he
Against another Michigan guy, too. Bravis, he's from Clawson.
Yeah, he's from Clawson. Clawson and Clarkston.
There you go.
So we just wait a few more moments as Matt Rogers finishes warming up here before DeAndre Clark steps in. DeAndre Clark, as we've mentioned before, hit that triple that really turned the tide of the game in the Beavers' favor the last time these two teams faced each other. So we look for him to continue that trend. He's been playing pretty well overall across this early season here.
Yes, he has.
And the return of Nick Wilson, I think, will really be a spark in the Beavers lineup.
He's done damage earlier this week in the closed games, like I was talking during the pregame. So watch out for him.
Yeah, during the closed game, I think he was batting 500. I think he only played 1 game, but he got on base twice during that outing. And I believe he did hit a home run, if I can recall correctly. I might be mistaken on that one.
Actually, you might be right.
Yes. He did hit a home run. So,
did.
I mean, what do you expect out of the guy who hit 17 last year? So, expect him to continue that trend today. The DeAndre Clark is about to step in the box.
Walking up to some One Direction.
Yes, he is. One Direction, who still not broken up over the loss of Zane. So DeAndre Clark on the season's batting .444, which is, season's still young yet, but that's pretty sublime.
Yes.
So he's got 12 hits and 5 RBI. And he bats left-handed against a righty pitcher, Matt Rogers. And first pitch comes at 7:04 p.m. and it is called for a strike. So
a little misty out.
Yeah, a little misty. Not too bad. DeAndre Clark is now 0-1. As the second pitch of the at-bat comes in. He swings and fouls that one directly behind the home plate into the netting. So it's going to be 0-2 on him now. He steps out of the batter's box to reset.
We have some little leaguers here in the front row behind home plate.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a local league or a travel league.
I think a travel league.
You think? 0-2 pitch comes in. He swings and fouls that one into the netting to the left of home plate. Stay 0-2 on him now.
It's great to see the kids out here at the ballpark.
It is. It honestly is, because such a great thing is that how accessible these games are, and it's in the community, so you can get to these games with just your allowance money.
Yeah, and the Tigers are out of town.
Another one off.
Tigers are out of town, so why not come to Utica?
Yeah. So you get a great entertainment value for, pretty good price.
Yes.
As Rogers out there adjusts his pant leg.
A little dirt on it.
Maybe it was tucked into his shoe. I know that happens to me sometimes. Not comfortable. And he and Figueroa are still deciding on a pitch, and he steps off, trying to get on the same page here.
And you'll see that a lot happen between the pitcher and the catcher.
And here comes the 0-2. And that one's going to be low, so it's going to be called a ball 1-2 on DeAndre Clark now. I noticed this happens actually a lot with the Hoppers, and I'm not trying to talk bad, but I noticed that Figueroa often has to meet the pitcher at the mound just to get on the same page. I don't know if it's signs or what, but I noticed a lot across these last few weeks we've been broadcasting. 1-2 pitch comes in, and he swings and foul tips that one, so it's going to remain 1-2 on DeAndre Clark.
And he has a little grin on his face after that.
Yeah, he's been making Rogers work here in the first at-bat of the game. That's now I believe the 6th pitch at the at-bat, and he's fouled off the vast majority of them. As the 1-2 pitch comes in, and he swings, and he flares this one into the glove of Stewart, who makes a diving catch at second base.
Stewart getting down and dirty early.
So that's going to be a line out right to Cam Stewart. And that's going to be the first out of the ball game. He was a light little blooper, but Cam Stewart still had to come all the way across to kick that ball in the air, and he dove across and caught it. Phenomenal play.
And we've seen a lot of diving catches here last week, the week before.
Yeah,
in Johns Field.
You don't see that many in the MLB. I guess our players are a lot more willing to do risky plays.
That's what we like to see.
Dan Kennan steps in, looks at his first pitch. Going to be low, so it's going to be 1-0 on him now.
And Figueroa has to walk it off there. I think he caught the bottom of his shin guard.
Yeah, he got up and he was hopping on one leg, so I think you're right. I think he might have hit his ankle or something. Maybe his knee. Because he has those huge shin pads. Maybe the inside of his leg. I'm just speculating here. Dan Kennan's hitting 400 on the season. Pretty impressive as well. As the 1-0 pitch comes in and he swings and he flares this one in the foul territory. First base side, and Gomez could not get over there to make it. He ended up he didn't necessarily drop the ball, it just kind of dropped in before he could get there. At the last second he tried to dive for it, but it was too little too late at that point.
Yeah, he turned his body at the wrong position there.
So it's just going to count as a strike then. It'll be 1-1 on Dan Kennan. As everyone returns to their positions and resets. Dan Kennan batting 400, has 4 hits on the season, so do the math there. He's had 10 at-bats.
400 batting average.
And he hits this one into right field, but right underneath Maroney, who makes the catch.
Dan Kennan flies to right, and now batting the first baseman, number 6, Nick Wilson.
So after a line out to second and a fly out to right field, Nick Wilson walks in. The man, the myth, the legend himself.
You're right. Nick Wilson.
Apparently doesn't wear his glasses to the plate. I'm assuming he has contacts.
Yeah.
But in his picture up there on the video board, he's got some very big glasses on.
Well, I'm wearing glasses right now, and I had to take my glasses off a few times because of the mist.
And the first pitch to Wilson's going to be inside, so it's going to be a ball 1-0. And the lights have come on here at Jimmy John's Field, most likely because of the overcast, as it's not very dark yet. Better safe than sorry, I suppose, as the 1-0 comes in, and he swings and he drives this one to center field. And that ball's going to be gone.
There's your damage.
The second pitch he sees in his at-bat, and he drives that one dead center field. And it's going to be a 1-0 lead for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers in the first inning.
Welcome back, Nick Wilson.
And honestly, I'm a little bit in disbelief. I had heard all about how good of a hitter he is, but for him to hit a home run in his first at-bat, that's really impressive.
That's the second of the season, folks.
Yeah. It's almost a shame that no one's on base for him.
Yes. He's going to do a lot of damage, and it's going to be exciting to watch him all season long.
As Nick Buckner steps in now, after the solo shot by Nick Wilson. 1-0 on him now. Nick Buckner, hitting .261 on the season with 1 RBIs, and he grounds this one over to Castro, who bobbles it, and not going to be in time, as Buckner's going to reach safely on an error. So the Hoppers have committed the first error of the ball game, and that'll be a E6. As it looked like a routine play, but Castro just bobbled it. Might have been at fault partly because of the slick conditions out there, as everything's probably still, I'd imagine, wet.
Yes.
They covered the infield, but, the tarp can only catch so much of the water. as Bobby San Martin, the catcher, is going to step in. He's hitting a quarter for so far in the season. Batting from the left side of the box. The first pitch to him. It's going to be inside for a ball, 1-0.
Man, I can't still get over that home run hit by Nick Wilson.
Yeah, and the second pitch he saw, he just drilled that one dead center. He's got some serious power.
Sure does.
I mean, we already knew that. And the 1-0 pitch to San Martin's going to be fouled over the net behind home plate. So it'll be 1-1 on him now.
Nick Wilson looks to lead the league in home runs again this season.
Yeah, and he's joining the league 2 weeks late.
It's all good, though.
I'm not going to complain. I love seeing some home runs hit. As the 1-1 pitch to San Martin comes in, and it's going to be outside. It's going to get away from him, and Nick Buckner's going to advance on that ball. It looked like Matt Rogers slipped on the mound in his delivery, and I don't know if he slipped after the delivery or what, but the ball hit Kyle Figueroa and bounced away and allowed Buckner to advance.
Yeah, it's really damp out there today.
So it'll be 2-1. Yeah, it definitely is. It's been, even though the weather forecast said it wasn't supposed to rain, it's been raining all day.
It's been lingering around the stadium everywhere.
And thank goodness it stopped about an hour ago, so we were able to get this game started. 2-1 pitch to San Martin comes in. It's going to be high, so it's going to call a ball. 3-1 now on Bobby San Martin.
Well, there's a difference between the majors and here at USPBL at June Johns Field. We get games in here, no matter if it's raining or not.
Well, as much as the game as we can get.
Yeah. Last week just fell short 6 innings.
Well, we got the 5 inning in, so we were able to call the game. So the game technically was played as San Martin fouls another ball off. So it's going to be 3-2 full on him now. So with a runner on second and Nick Buckner, Bobby San Martin has a chance to extend the lead Nick Wilson gave them. But one more strike and it'll be it for this half inning. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to San Martin, and he swings and misses at that one. So it's going to be the first strikeout for Matt Rogers. But the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers get the lead in the season in the top half of the first as Nick Wilson hits a solo shot and his first at bat back in a public game. So next up for the Hoppers, leading it off is Brandon O'Brien, followed by the number 2 hitter Joe Maroney and the number 3 hitter Chris Power. We'll be back shortly. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the first inning. And your starting lineup for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, in case you missed it, batting first, the center fielder, number 1, Brandon O'Brien. Batting second, the right fielder, number 13, Joe Maroney. Batting third, the left fielder, number 22, Chris Power. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 21, Esteban Gomez. Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 2, Cam Stewart. Batting sixth, the DH, number 2, John Menken. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 5, Casey Chenoweth. Batting 8th, the shortstop, number 7, Ricky Castro. And batting 9th, number 4, the catcher, Kyle Figueroa. As Brandon O'Brien steps into the box, and he sees his first pitch. Could be high for a ball. On the mound for the Beavers is Brian Bayless, my bad. He has no wins, no losses so far, but he's got a 1.80. He's got a 1.8 ERA across 5 innings pitched so far.
Only giving up 4 hits, has 4 strikeouts, and of course 5 innings pitch.
As the 2-0 comes into O'Brien, and it's going to be called a strike. So it'll be 2-1 on him now.
Davis out of Clawson, Michigan. Yeah, like we said earlier in the top of the half of the first, Clarkston versus Clawson matchup.
Yes, it is. As the 2-1 comes in, it's going to be called for a strike, and the fans in the stands are not agreeing with that. They thought it was a strike. Or a ball, I mean. As the 2-2 comes in. Ball's going to be outside. It's going to be 3-2 full count now on Brendan O'Brien.
Brandon O'Brien has 6 hits this season, 4 RBIs, batting average .316.
As he kind of check swing that one. I'm sorry, it wasn't that. He was protecting the plate. Just trying to make contact on it. Drove it foul, so staying alive at 3-2.
And by the way, Brandon O'Brien was the walk-off hit back on Saturday.
In the extra innings game?
Yeah, it was a fielder's choice. So
he got it done, though. As the 3-2 pitch comes in, and he swings and flies this one foul by the home team dugout along the third baseline. So it'll remain 3-2 on him. And he's quickly getting the pitch count up on Bayless here, as he's already at 7 pitches at the at-bat. And that ball's going to be low, and he walked him. So Brendan O'Brien gets on early on a 8-pitch walk.
that's not what you want to start the game off.
No, you generally don't want to start the game with a walk. I agree with that. His last time out, he had 2 walks. So that was across 5 innings. So it's not like walks are necessarily unheard of coming from him, but
Joe Moroney, this is going to be his 24th at-bat of the season. Has 4 hits, 7 runs, 2 RBIs, batting average .174.
Joe Moroney looks at his first pitch here as Brendan O'Brien tries to steal, and steals fairly easily as the ball got away from San Martin on the pitch. So that's going to be the second steal of the ball game.
And that's like we said earlier in the game, before the game started, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers are dangerous on the base pads.
Yeah, they got a lot of speed, and they definitely utilize it. They're not ones to shy from attempting the double steal, that's for sure. So now Joe Moroney has a chance to tie the ball game up with now a runner in scoring position after Brendan O'Brien just stole a base. As the 1-0 comes into Joe Moroney, and he swings and flies this one out to right field. And it's going to be fairly deep, but Buckner's able to get underneath it for the first out.
Had a back pedal for that one.
But Brendan O'Brien was able to advance. So now Chris Power is going to come in with a man at third and only 1 out. So he's got to. Won't take much to drive him home. You just got to not strike out, really.
No.
I mean, there's plenty of other ways to get out and not drive him home, but striking out is definitely the one way you don't want to go.
Chris Power has 6 RBIs this season. Looks to make it possibly 7.
And that's going to be in for a ball just outside. It's going to be 1-0. Strangely enough, though, he's got 6 RBIs, but he's batting only .207, just slightly above the that 200 marker that most batters want to hit or be above. As the 1-0 comes in. It's going to be called for a strike, so 1-1 on him now. And the 1-1 comes in. And it's going to be high, though, so it's going to be 2-1 now on Chris Power. Here comes the 2-1, and he swings and misses at that one. 2-2 now. Count is even on Chris Power. And the 2-2 pitch is going to be low. 3-2 count now on Chris Power. The second 3-2 count that Brian Bayless has gotten himself into in this inning.
What do you think he does here, Brian?
Bayless or Power?
Power.
I'd got to imagine he's going to try and swing and bring Brendan O'Brien home.
Let's see what happens.
And he does swing, but he fouls that one into the netting over by the first base dugout.
So you're partially right.
I was right. No, I was right. He swung. He just didn't get it fair. He just hit it the wrong direction.
You're right. Yeah, you're true. You're true.
So it's going to remain 3-2 on Chris Power. And he fouls this one again, but it's going to go over to the patio in right field. He kind of looked like he was protecting the plate there.
That was like a half swing there.
Yeah, it looked like he was just trying to make contact. Just trying to stay alive. Desperation swing. As Bayless sets on the mound. 3-2 pitches in, but he checks his swing. And it's going to be called a ball, so he'll walk him. And now we have runners on the corners with Esteban Gomez coming up. Only one out still, but now with Chris Power on first, the double play is an option.
Not a good start so far for Bayless.
And I'm sure that's what San Martin and Bayless are discussing right now. Esteban Gomez on the season is hitting .286. He's got 8 RBIs himself. 2 home runs, too. The first pitch to Gomez came in. It's going to be called a strike, so 0-1 on him. Bayless decides on a pitch. Comes to 0-1. It's going to be low and inside. It's going to be called a ball. 1-1.
As fans begin to bring out their ponchos.
Is it raining right now, Dan?
I think it's just a mist.
I think you're right. I don't see any physical raindrops, so if anything, it's got to be misting. I can't really tell.
But it's always good to be ready.
Well, definitely, yes. As that ball swung on and missed, so 1-2 now on Esteban Gomez. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be because they're putting their ponchos on, or are they taking them off? No, they're putting them on.
Bring them on. But it's always, like I said, better be ready than not.
Yeah, better safe than sorry. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's going to be swung on and chopped over to the second baseman, Rollis, who's just going to toss it over to Wilson for the second out. Meanwhile, Brendan O'Brien is able to score. So the game now is tied after Wilson gave them the lead. Esteban Gomez is able to tie it up with a ground out. So now Cam Stewart's going to come in with the game tied 1-1, 2 outs. He's got a runner at second in Chris Power. He's only got 2 RBIs on the season, though, batting .259. The first pitch to Cam Stewart is going to be called a strike, so 0-1 on him now. Here comes the 0-1, and he swings and he singles that one out to left center field, and Chris Power's going to come around and he's going to score. So now the Hoppers are going to have a 2-1 lead over the Beavers. So Cam Stewart now has an RBI. And Chris Power was able to score because he got that one pretty much exactly where you want it. It wasn't super deep. It was able to get over the shortstop Martinez's head and just kind of land shallow left center. So it gave Power enough time to get home because Gerard Hernandez had to come all the way in to get that. John Mencken is in as he looks and he flies this one way up in the air. And it looks like Martinez is going to be able to get that one just shy of the second base. And that's going to be it for the inning. the Hoppers able to score 2 off a ground out and a RBI single. So after Wilson gave them the lead, the Hoppers come back and retake the lead from the Beavers. Now 2-1 in the Hoppers' favors. Next up for the Beavers is John Crank, Gerard Hernandez, and DJ Martinez. We will be back shortly.
Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, the designated hitter number 2, John Crank.
Welcome back, everyone, to the top of the second inning where John Crank is due up for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. And the Beavers, after getting out to an early lead, are now trailing 2-1, looking to retake the lead here in the early goings of the second inning. John Crank just hitting measly 100 to start the season as he swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. So 0-1 on him now. Oh, 1 pitch comes in, and he swings and grounds this one over to Cam Stewart. He's going to handle it and throw over to Gomez. So that's going to be the first out of the inning. So that'll be a 4-3 putout. So now Gerard Hernandez is going to come in. And the rain begins to fall heavier here.
Hernandez only has 4 hits this season.
Batting on 133. No walks either to speak of. So he looks at the first pitch and it'll be a ball. 1-0 on him now.
I wish this rain could just go away.
And come again another day. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and he swings, and he's going to ground this one over to the first baseman Gomez, who tosses over to Matt Rogers, who's covering first base and gets him out. So that'll be 2 quick outs for Matt Rogers. So it'll be a 3-1 put out. Different vibes so far in the second inning as opposed to the first. The top of the first inning, Andre Clark really gave him a battle there at the plate, but only, I think, on 4 or 5 pitches here, we've got 2 outs to start the second. DJ Martinez is stepping in now, batting .292 on the season. The shortstop responsible for recording the last out in the last half inning, as the first pitch he sees is going to be called for a strike inside. 0-1 on him. And he swings at the second pitch and fouls it into the netting.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend, I heard.
I heard that it's supposed to. I think tomorrow's supposed to be nice, but I think Sunday's supposed to storm. As the 0-2 pitch is fouled behind over the netting into the stands.
Well, if that's the case, cross my fingers, hope it doesn't happen.
I think we're all hoping for that. We all come here to watch baseball, not the tarp on the field, right?
Yep.
And it is still 0-2 on DJ Martinez, trying just to get a sentence out there.
It's okay, Brian.
as the 0-2 pitch comes in. And he swings and he drives this one to right center field. And O'Brien is converging on it and makes the catch. So it's going to be 3 quick outs for Matt Rogers this inning. So the Hoppers are going to maintain the lead going to the bottom half of the second where they are at bat. Coming up for them is Casey Chenoweth, the third baseman, batting 7th. The 8th batter, the shortstop, Ricky Castro. In the 9th hole, the catcher, Kyle Figueroa. So we will be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the second inning where the Hoppers are due up. Starting off the bottom of the second inning for the Hoppers is Casey Chenoweth. He's got 1 home run on the season with 3 RBIs. Batting just slightly above the Mendoza line at 207. First pitch he sees is a strike, so it'll be 0-1 on him. The 0-1 pitch comes into him, and it's going to be called a strike as well. 0-2 on him. 2 quick strikes here for Brian Bayless, as Casey Chenoweth quickly finds himself in a hole. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and he swings and fouls this one into the netting behind home plate. Almost got over the netting, hit the very top of it. But it will remain 0-2 now.
Casey Chenoweth out of Toll House, California. Did his college ball at East Central University.
0-2, and he's going to fly this one over to foul territory by left field. And Dan Kennon's going to get underneath it to make the catch. It was kind of in that gray area where anyone could make it. He runs over and grabs it. As Ricky Castro comes to the plate now, getting actually booed by some fans. I heard a couple boos. That might have just been in jest, though.
Let's hope for that.
Well, I can't imagine anyone seriously getting booed here. We all play out of the same ballpark. As the first pitch he sees, he fouls off into the netting.
I know Bayless has a couple fans here for him out of Clawson.
Well, friends and family love to come watch their family play.
That's great to see.
0-1 pitch comes in. It's going to be called for a strike. So 0-2 on him now, as Bayless is making. Bayless is making no. Oh, this one ball is going to be lined over to right field and in for a single. Bayless is not wasting any time getting these pitches out. That is what I was trying to say before the base hit happened.
Feels like a Monday instead of a Thursday.
Well, Thursdays are kind of our Mondays.
Yeah.
Takes us a little while to get warmed up, I suppose. Kyle Figueroa fouls this ball into the netting on the right side of home plate. So we 0-1 on him now. Figueroa's last time against the Beavers was 0 for 4. Reached on an error and a fielder's choice.
So was active there in that game.
So yeah, despite being 0 for 4, he did reach base a couple times. Just kind of, well, just making it is important. What comes after that is up to your teammates. And the 0-1 pitch is coming in for a strike, 0-2. As Bayless threatens the throw over, but does not, just trying to keep Ricky Castro at the plate.
And once again, these Diamond Hoppers are dangerous.
They're aggressive on the base paths. As Figueroa softly grounds this one over to the mound, and they'll get the out, so there'll be 2 outs now, but Ricky Castro is able to advance to second. It'll be a 1-3 put out. Yeah, he kind of swung on that one, and it kind of just hopped in front of the home base and kind of squirted its way over to the mound. Bayless able to make easy work of that at bat as Brendan O'Brien steps in now. His last time up, he was walked.
Did steal a base.
Yeah, eventually came around to score as well on the ground out from Esteban Gomez. Here's the first pitch to him. It's going to take, and it's going to be called a ball. So 1-0 now on Brendan O'Brien. Bayless keeping an eye on Gomez over there at second, and this ball's flown over to left field as Clark's able to make the catch. So that'll be 3 outs now. So now 2 innings of play are done with. The Hoppers lead the Beavers 2-1. And we're going to the top of the third where the left fielder Andre Clark is due up, followed by the third baseman Dan Kennan and the first baseman Nick Wilson, who hit the first home run of the game. So we'll be back shortly. I am. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the top of the third inning, where Rulis is due up, Thomas Rulis. So I made a mistake going into the break, saying that DeAndre Clark was up, where really the 9th man in the lineup was up, Thomas Rulis, as he fouls the first ball off. Be 0-1 on him now. But I'm not the only one who made that mistake, as our PA announcer made the same one. So I don't feel alone anymore.
It's okay, Brian.
You know, they say misery loves company, so.
It's a cloudy, gloomy kind of day.
0-1 pitch comes in, and that ball's going to be high and outside. Great day for baseball, though. Every day is a great day for baseball. Except maybe if there's snow on the ground.
No, we don't want that.
The 1-1 comes in. It's going to be inside for a ball. 2-1 on him now. Thomas Rulis is hitting a solid .318 on the season with 2 RBIs. The 2-1 now, and he's going to swing and foul that one off the mask of Kyle Figueroa. Doesn't seem any worse for wear, though, because of it. 2-2 now on Thomas Rulis. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. That ball is going to be lined right to Stewart over there at second base.
Didn't have to move.
Yeah, he just kind of squatted and made the catch. He made solid contact, Thomas Rulis did on that play, but just right at Cam Stewart, unfortunately for him. I'm sure Cam Stewart's pretty happy about it. He didn't have to do much.
Did a slide step.
Yeah, he really did.
Like these boy bands, since it's boy band day here at Jimmy John's Field.
Nice tie-in. I'm proud of you, Dan. That was good. As DeNandre Clark steps in after lining out to, well, no other than Cam Stewart the last time on that diving play. The first pitch he sees is going to be low for a ball, 1-0. The Hoppers have a 2-1 lead with 1 out. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be inside to DeNandre Clark. 2-0 on him now. As it just continues to be misty out there.
Sure does. I just want it to go away.
The 2-0 pitch is going to be low, away from Kyle Figueroa, but no harm done.
Well, we all do. We all do.
Well, we all want the rain to go away. We'd much prefer to play baseball on a sunny day, but I'm just happy baseball's being played.
Mm-hmm.
As DeNandre Clark gets... And 3-0 to him is going to be inside, so it's going to be a 4-pitch walk on DeNandre Clark now. So after lining out his first time up, DeNandre Clark gets on a walk. The first walk for Matt Rogers this game. So Dan Kennan will step in now after he flew out to Joe Moroney his first time up. The first pitch to Dan Kennan is going to be way inside as he had to dodge out of the way of that one. Might have seen the light flash before his eyes. That was at his head.
Matrix move.
I mean, I don't by any means think it was intentional.
No.
But it was still head level. I'm sure that had to scare him.
We did have seen quite a few hit batters this season.
Yeah, hit by pitches are a little bit more common here than they probably should be. The 1-0 pitch is going to be high again. It's going to be 2-0 on Dan Kennan.
It's important as a pitcher on this type of day just to keep your hands from getting, wet.
Yeah, and well, keeping the ball dry as well. Luckily, the umpire has a. I'm gonna refrain from finishing this sentence. It would sound a little inappropriate.
He might have a towel on hand, so yeah, he can
Here's the 2-0. Be in for a strike. Well, he keeps a reserve of extra baseballs.
Mm-hmm.
As Matt Rogers sets for the 2-1 pitch. And he steps off and takes a look over at DeNandre Clark at first.
As Clark froze and stared at him.
Clark is getting a healthy lead out there and clearly not frightened by the threat that Matt Rogers has given him. As the 2-1 pitch comes in and be fouled off way, probably looks like it was onto the service drive because he really drilled that one foul.
And if you're a passing car, watch out.
Yeah, Cass Avenue is right behind Jimmy John's Field, and I mean it's open to the public even during the games. So, yeah, if you're not driving down Cass Avenue during Jimmy John's Field time, you want to watch out. So now it's going to be 2-2 now on Dan Kennan. Here it comes the pitch, and he's going to fly this one pretty high up in the air as Joe Moroney comes over near the foul line to make the catch. So it's going to be 1 out.
That would be 2 outs.
Or yes, 2 outs. My bad. Nice save.
And Nick Wilson, welcome back to the league. Hit a home run back in the first.
Well, he definitely gave the fans a good
Yes, he
welcome
did.
back in that home run, didn't he? Didn't take him long, just 2 pitches, and he just absolutely destroyed the thing to dead center field. As the first pitch to him is going to be low, and Don Andre Clark broke for second and got in there easily because Figueroa couldn't quite find the ball down there. So it'll be 1-0 on Nick Wilson, and you can pretty much guarantee, as they intentionally walk him actually now. So after just 1 pitch, they decided just to go the rest of the way and intentionally walk him. I was about to say you can guarantee that they'd be a lot more careful with Nick Wilson. I guess they went as much careful as they could by intentionally walking him.
You have to be careful with him.
Yeah, so now there are going to be 2 men on base, first and second for Nick Buckner, but there are 2 outs, so he's got to be aware of that as well. Here comes the first pitch to him. Pitch can be inside, but called for a strike, so it'll be 0-1 now on Nick Buckner. Buckner's first time up reached on an error and eventually advanced to second, but no further than that. And the first pitch to him the second pitch to him is going to be grounded over to Stewart, who made a sliding stop and throws over to Gomez for the 3rd out of the inning. So after 2.5 innings, the Hoppers still lead the Beavers 2-1, and we're going to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Where due up for the Hoppers is going to be Joe Moroni, Chris Power, and Esteban Gomez. So we will be back shortly. All right, welcome back to the bottom half of the 3rd inning between this game, between the Hoppers and the Beavers here. And Brian Fisher with Dan Dobler here. And leading off is Joe Moroni for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. As the first pitch he sees is going to be called a strike, 0-1 on him. As in the middle of the innings, we were treated to a little treat by the grounds crew who danced to a Backstreet Boys song.
Bye, bye, bye.
Yeah. The second pitch is going to be called a ball. 1-1 on him now. They got an applause from the crowd as well, which is pretty entertaining. As the second pitch is going to be called a ball, or the third pitch is going to be called a ball as well. 2-1 on him now. Here comes the 2-1. He's going to swing and fly this one to shallow right center field. Buckner called off Rulis and eventually made the basket catch.
It's kind of scary making catches like that.
Well, I think Rulis would have had that one a lot easier than Buckner did. Buckner came charging in at full speed and, made the catch at his knees. But Buckner called him off, so he must have been confident that he had that one. As Chris Power steps in, reached on a walk his last time up. Eventually came around to score on the Cam Stewart single. The first pitch he sees is going to be called a strike, 0-1 on him. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That ball's inside, called for a ball, 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung and foul tipped into the netting directly behind home plate. So 1-2 now on Chris Power.
As the umbrellas are still out.
Over there in the party patio?
No, I'm talking about all the fans getting their umbrellas and ponchos out. That too.
Oh, okay. As the 1-2 is in for a ball, so it'll be even count now at 2-2.
And it's a light mist. It's not that bad.
It's just really a light mist. There's not much to it. It's playable weather. Not ideal, but playable. As the 2-2 pitch comes in, and it's going to be outside, so the count is full now at 3-2. One out in this half inning. Here comes the 3-2 pitch, and it's going to be inside for a ball, and Brian Bayless didn't agree with that. He thought it was a strike, but the umpire has the say, so Chris Power will take his base, the second walk for him today. He has not officially registered an at-bat yet today.
Nope. Hopefully he can turn that around.
And the first pitch to Esteban Gomez is called a ball, so 1-0 on him.
But he does got that RBI.
He does. He grounded out to Rulis his last time up, but he was able to bring home Brendan O'Brien with that ground out. As the second pitch to him is going to be called a strike, so the count's even at 1-1. Esteban Gomez, I think, now has 9 RBIs. As Esteban Gomez calls for time. He steps back into the batter's box now.
If I was Bayless, I would keep a close eye at first on.
Well, like we discussed earlier, Dan, we know the Hoppers like to play with their speed. As Esteban Gomez swings and misses on that one, so 1-2 now on Esteban. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swings and misses at that one. Kind of a half-hearted swing, so it's going to be a strikeout for Brian Bayless, his first of the ball game. Kind of looked like Gomez didn't really want to swing at that, and maybe was just protecting the plate, but he still missed on it. And ultimately struck out, bringing up Cam Stewart, who at his first at-bat hit a single for an RBI. As the first pitch he sees at this at-bat is called for a strike.
Haven't seen too many strikeouts yet in this ballgame from both pitches.
I believe that both have just one strikeout so far across the 3 innings they've played.
Yeah, looks like I'm looking at the radar right now. We have some rain coming.
As this ball is flown out to kind of deep over there at left center field, but Hernandez is able to get underneath it and ends the inning.
I'll talk about the rain that's coming.
You better shut your... Dan, you shut your mouth. You do not talk about rain coming. Rain is not coming. You do not.
Okay.
I'm just teasing you, man. I'm just teasing you. Yeah, that's going to do it, though, for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in the bottom of the 3rd inning. They probably get one man on base because of a walk, but nothing more than that. So it's going to remain a 2-1 lead for them. Next up is the top of the 4th inning, where the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers lead off with the number 5 hitter, Bobby San Martin. Following him is John Crank, the DH, and the center fielder, Gerard Hernandez. We'll be back shortly.
Bloomfield Beavers, the catcher number 4, Bobby San Martin.
Welcome back to the top of the fourth inning. Brian Fisher with Dan Dobler here in this matchup between the Hoppers and the Beavers. Hoppers are currently leading 2-1, and leading off the top of the fourth inning for the Beavers is the catcher Bobby San Martin. He is this first time up to the plate. He struck out. First only strikeout for Matt Rogers in this ballgame. And the first pitch to him hits him in the back. So that's your first hit by pitch in the ball game, and we were talking about that just last half inning. A lot of hit by pitches.
Yes, we have seen the start of the season from every single team, but hopefully that does not continue.
Yeah, there's been a lot of them, and I'm sure that the hitters don't necessarily appreciate that. I'm sure the rain has something to do with that situation. As the first pitch to John Crank is flown out to center field, but not uncatchable as Brandon O'Brien makes the catch.
John Craig flies to center.
So only 2 pitches in this half inning, but quite an active inning so far as Bobby San Martin reaches base on a hit by pitch, and then John Crank immediately flies out to center field. So now Gerard Hernandez will step into the box. His last time up, he grounded out over to Gomez, who threw over to Matt Rogers as he covered. Gerard Hernandez looks at his first pitch, and he flies this one into foul territory. Figueroa runs over to try and catch it, but it's going to end up in the stands. So it'll be 0-1 now on Gerard Hernandez, as Figueroa takes his time getting back over to home plate.
Hernandez out of Phoenix, Arizona. The Cactus State, right?
I believe so, yeah. As 0-1 pitch into Hernandez, he fouls off again in the same direction as the last time. So it'll be 0-2 on him now.
I do have family that's from there.
Phoenix, really?
Yeah. I haven't been visiting them for a while, but I do have family there.
The Doblers are all over.
It's actually my mom's side, so the Smolinskis.
I think pretty much all my family is in Michigan. I got a couple family members in Chicago and one in Florida. 0-2 pitch is flown out to left field, pretty deep onto the warning track, but Power is able to make the catch, so it's going to be 2 outs now.
Gerard Hernandez flies to left. Now batting the shortstop, number 1, DJ Martinez.
So now DJ Martinez is going to be up with the runner on first and 2 outs. His team, the Beavers, trailing in this one, 2-1.
Martinez flew out to right center field last time out, back in the second.
Yes, he did. O'Brien was able to make that catch. It looked like it could have been Maroney's ball too, but O'Brien ultimately made the play.
Hernandez getting a comfortable lead there at first.
As the first pitch to Martinez is called a ball, so we 1-0 on him now.
What a great staff we have here at USPBL, handing out ponchos to the fans.
Well, not everyone comes prepared, but USPBL comes prepared for them. As the 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed, so it'll be 1-1 now on DJ Martinez.
Not JD.
Not JD, no. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy to have him, like in a good way.
Yes.
Crazy good. As the 1-1 pitch is fouled off to the visiting team dugout along the first base line.
The Tigers are in Houston one last time tonight for the last game of the series. That
Trying to split the series, I believe. It's a 4-game series, correct?
Yes. And that's a beautiful ballpark Houston has.
Oh, yes, it is. As the next pitch comes in, it's going to be low and inside for a ball, 2-2. Yeah, it really is. The Houston Astros ballpark is very, very nice.
Mm-hmm. They usually play with the roof closed, but I guess past 2 days they've been playing with it open.
Well, I can't imagine.
Because it gets hot, midsummer, so.
I was going to say, I can't imagine the rain would be much of a problem in Houston, Texas.
No.
The 2-2 pitch comes in, and he swings and fouls this one in the netting behind home plate, as it makes all the young fans right behind home plate kind of jump. So it'll remain 2-2 now.
And they did get rid of that center field hill
They did, and that's kind of disappointing. I thought that was such a unique quirk. I understand why
I
they
think
did
that was
it.
really cool that they had it
It's
there.
a little bit of a hazard for the center fielder, but it's still a cool little unique quirk
Yeah.
about it. As that ball's going to be inside, so the count will go to full. But Bobby St. Martin's not going to test the arm of Figueroa as it got away from him.
Figueroa has to adjust his shin guard.
As the jaw steam plays, pretty much every time we go to a 3-2 count.
Dangerous count.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it could go either way at that point. As Matt Rogers looks over to the first base. Three-two pitch comes in, and it's going to lose him, so it's going to walk. DJ Martinez. And Bobby St. Martin broke for a second, but ultimately he was able to go to a light jog once he realized that was a ball. So now you have runners at first and second with 2 outs. Thomas Rulis up. His last time up, he flew out to the shortstop, or the second baseman, Cam Stewart. As the first pitch to him at this at-bat is going to be called a ball. Pretty low in the dirt, so 1-0 on Thomas Rulis. And the second pitch to Thomas Rulis is going to be high for a ball, 2-0. Matt Rogers struggling a little bit here.
You got 3 walks, right?
He has, yes, 3 walks. One of them was intentional, and then he has a hit by pitch as well. So 3 walks and a hit by pitch for him so far in this ballgame, as Figueroa goes out and talks to Matt Rogers real quick.
This would be his 60th pitch coming up.
Yes, and only the 4th inning.
Not too.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Come to think of it. The 2-0 pitch is in, and it's going to be called a strike, so 2-1 on Thomas Rulis now. Had to do the math in my head there and broke it down. 60 pitches across 4 innings, only 15 an inning, and that's generally ideal as Thomas Rulis flies this one out to power. And he drops it over there in left field, and that's going to allow Bobby St. Martin to score and extend the lead, or tie the ball game at 2-2.
Something you really don't see.
I wonder if the weather had anything to do with it, because this mist is keeping the ball pretty wet.
And got in his eyes, that is.
Yeah, maybe, because it looked like a pretty routine play. So that'll be the second error for the Hoppers this ball game. And that'll go down as an E7. And bringing around Bobby St. Martin to score and tie the ball game up. So now DeAndre Clark, who just hit last inning, is going to hit again. The first pitch to him is high for a ball. And the 1-0 pitch is coming, and he swings and he flies this one towards the gap in right center field, but Maroney is able to come over and make the catch. So now the Beavers, after trailing at the start of the inning, has tied it up based on an error from Chris Power over there in left field. So the game is tied 2-2, going to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Due up for the Hoppers in the bottom half of the 4th is the DH, John Mankin, the third baseman, Casey Chenoweth, and the shortstop, Ricky Castro. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the fourth inning, where the Diamond Hoppers are up to bat. And the game is now tied 2-2. Leading off for the Diamond Hoppers is John Mencken. His first time up at the plate, he popped out to the shortstop, DJ Martinez. First pitch he looks at is a call to strike, 0-1 on him. And the 0-1 pitch is in, called for a ball, hitting just outside, I should say. And 1-1 now on John Mencken.
We have seen quite a few errors already to start this game out.
Yeah, all of them committed by the Diamond Hoppers. So it's 1-2 now on John Mencken. I mean, we kind of assumed that this would happen due to the weather conditions right now. It's been a constant mist since the game started, so everything's
I know I wouldn't want to play in this type of weather.
But they're playing it nonetheless, just to try to get the game in, as the 1-2 pitch is in for a ball, making it 2-2.
But then again, when there's no baseball played, it's very sad.
Yes, and that's why they're trying to get the game in despite the unfavorable conditions, as the 2-2 pitch is in, and he swings and misses on it, so it'd be a strikeout. The second strikeout now for Brian Bayless this game. So now Casey Chenoweth will step in. His first time up, he flew out to the third baseman, Dan Kennan.
Mencken, after that strikeout, looked back at the ump and just smiled.
Well, he swung and missed at it, so I mean, there's not much to argue about in that kind of situation. He might just be frustrated at himself, really, as the first pitch of Casey Chenoweth is called a ball. The 1-0 to Chenoweth is fouled down by the third base line. Corralled in there by the manager for the Hoppers, Paul Noche.
It's Noche, that is.
Noche, then. 1-1 on Casey Chenoweth, as he fouls another one behind the plate into the netting, so it'll be 1-2.
I got your back, Brian.
Thank you, Dan. That's what we're here for, right?
Yes.
Got each other's backs. And our shadow man,
Mr. Steve.
and that ball's gonna be high, 2-2. The man who writes all the recaps for USPBL.
So go on their website and check them out.
He always has our backs as well, giving us weird looks whenever we say something funky. As the 2-2 pitch comes in, it's going to be inside, 3-2. Full count now on Casey Chenoweth. One out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Casey Chenoweth taking a second to recollect himself. As Bayless wastes no time throwing that pitch, but it's going to be low for a ball. So he's going to walk him. That'll be the fourth walk of the ball game for Brian Bayless across 4 innings. Not necessarily ideal,
No, not at all.
but the ball game is tied 2-2, so clearly they're not doing that bad. As Ricky Castro steps in, first time up, he's singled. As the first pitch to him is down and in the dirt, gets away from San Martin. The umpire got in the way, so Casey Chenoweth was able to advance.
Sam Martin was
And-
get out of the way.
Yeah, that was just...
To the ump.
Well, he got up, and the ball was underneath the umpire, so he had both of his hands on him, trying to push him out of the way, but you can't really push the umpire.
No.
Because you get in a lot of trouble. So it's
Yes,
kind of
you will.
you got to wait for him to lumber out of the way.
You do not want to be suspended.
No. Be 1-0, and here comes the 1-0, and he grounds that one right over to Rulis, who throws over to first, gets the out. So it'll be 2 outs. Chenoweth advances the third on the play. So now you have a man on third with 2 outs. Kyle Figueroa steps in with a chance to give the Hoppers the lead again after the Beavers tied the game on an error last half inning.
That took a major bounce to Rulis for that out.
Yeah, it bounced, but it bounced right to him.
Luckily.
So, but yeah, I took a really healthy bounce out there in the infield grass.
Which is kind of weird with this damp weather. But
And the first pitch to Figueroa is going to be inside for a ball.
you never know what can happen.
Nope, then that's the great thing about sports is it's great unpredictability. Anything can happen on any given day. And the 1-0 pitch to Kyle Figueroa's in, and he swings and misses at that one, so it'll be 1-1. Took a very healthy swing at that one, if I do say so.
Yes.
But nothing doing for him.
Only has 5 hits this season.
Yeah, he's batting .238, which isn't very good. And he cuts and misses at another one. Pretty much in the same location, so it's going to be 1 and 2.
But you know what, Brian? He does have those 3 RBIs. And, you know, it's still the beginning of the season.
I mean, there's a lot of games left to be played, so he could easily turn it around. Players get in slumps, players get on hot streaks. He might just very well be in a slump right now, as that ball's going to be way outside.
We're only a few weeks in.
So it'll be 2 and 2. Yeah, that's what, our 3rd week of baseball?
Yes, I believe it is.
So he's got plenty of time to right this ship. As the 2-2 comes in, and he kind of half-heartedly swung at that, mostly just protecting the plate, and grounds it over to Martinez, who throws over to Wilson. Almost pulled him off the bag, but did not, so it's going to be the 3rd out. So the Hoppers threaten but don't score, so the game remains tied 2-2 after 4 innings of play. So leading off for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers in the top of the 5th inning is going to be DeAndre Clark.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Behind him, Dan Kennan, I believe.
Yes, you're right. Dan Kennan, Nick Wilson, and Nick Buckner. I was going to say, because DeAndre Clark finished that inning, I just didn't mark him down.
It's all good.
Like we said, we have each other's backs. So that'll be it for this half inning. We'll be back shortly. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the top of the 5th inning now.
Boy band night.
Yep, here at USPBL.
Once again, my favorite boy band is New Kids on the Block. How about you, Brian?
It was the Backstreet Boys for me.
And there you go. They're playing their song over the air right now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they kind of faded into obscurity after a while. They were really popular. My sister used to just absolutely love them.
Oh yeah, so did mine. But you know what my first boy band concert was?
You went to a boy band concert?
I had to. I was young and my parents had no babysitter for me. So I had to go see NSYNC at Comerica Park.
Dan, that's terrible. I'm so sorry for you.
Hey, I get to see Justin Timberlake, who's very...
Before he broke away. Yeah, before he became
So
a
it's
solo
all
artist.
good. It's all good.
Yeah, you got to see pre-solo Justin Timberlake and then the rest of those guys. As Dan Kennan steps in, the first pitch to him's high. So it'll be 1-0 on him now. The game is tied 2-2. Here comes the 1-0 to Kennan.
Do have to say, the Hoppers do have a right-hander warming up in their bullpen.
Where are those binoculars, Dan? Did you forget that?
Yeah, I did. Sorry.
Dan, you're killing me,
I'll
man.
bring him tomorrow. It's like a Thursday. It's like a cloudy day. It feels like a Monday.
As Dan Cannon fouls this one, so it's going to be 2-1 on him now. Those binoculars are a vital part of our performance.
I know.
So the 2-1 pitch now to Dan Cannon. And it's going to be low and outside, so it'll be 3-1 now. Favorable count in favor of Dan Cannon.
Davis is at, I think, 77 pitches now, so getting that pitch count up.
And according to our writer Steve, it's in the bullpen, number 9, Jeffrey Gauss, warming up for the Hoppers.
And he did not need binoculars for that.
No, he's got good eyes, unlike us. Dan Cannon drew a walk.
I promise I'll bring him tomorrow.
5 pitches. I'm holding you to that.
Remind me. Give me a call, text, whatever you have to do.
Or else I'm
Remind
going to
me.
have to embarrass you on air or something. I'll have to think of something. Maybe we spill a dirty secret. I don't know any secrets about you, Dan.
No, you don't.
I don't.
Once we get comfortable with each other, I might start spilling some secrets.
And so that's going to be the 4th walk for Matt Rogers in 5 innings. And one hit by pitch excluded from that because those don't qualify as walks.
Actually, that would be Bavis. We have 4 walks, I think.
No, it's Matt Rogers. He's on the mound for the Hoppers.
Oh, okay.
You're still a half inning behind, Dan. It's all right, man.
It's been a
I was
long.
making mistakes earlier today. It's all right. As the 1-0 pitch to Nick Wilson's inning, he grounds this one over to Castro, so no home run today. Mike trying to turn the double play and successfully do so.
Not that many double plays we've seen here to start the season, but we have seen
So he
today.
he hit a home run, drew an intentional walk, and then grounded into a double play. It's kind of a mixed bag out of Wilson today. As he grounded to Castro, who threw over to Stewart, and then to Gomez for the 6-4-3 double play. So now Nick Buckner is going to stand in. He is 0 for 2 today. As that first pitch to him is going to be outside, 1-0 on him. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be called for a ball, 2-0. Here comes the 2-0, and he's going to fly this one foul over by the home team dugout.
And the breaking of the grass in the background.
The sound effect? Yeah.
Yes, you gotta love it.
That's how you know that foul ball went far, is if they play that sound effect.
You gotta love it, like I said.
It's tough to tell from where we're seated how far these foul balls go. Once they get past the stands, we kind of lose it. As Buckner flies this one to right center field, where O'Brien's able to make the catch. So thanks to turning a double play, Matt Rogers is able to make quick work of this half inning. So the game remains tied 2-2 as we go to the bottom half of the 5th, where drew up for the Hoppers is Brendan O'Brien, Joe Maroney, and Chris Power. We'll be back shortly. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the the bottom of the fifth inning, where the game is tied 2-2 between the Beavers and the Hoppers. Brennan O'Brien leading off the bottom of the fifth inning here. He's 0 for 1 today. He drew a walk in his first appearance.
Did have a stolen base, though.
Yeah, he did, and he eventually came around to score as well. As the first pitch he sees is called for a strike. He showed bunt, but pulled it back, but still called a strike nonetheless.
That batting average, .316.
Very solid. As the 0-1 comes in, it's going to be called a ball. 1-1 on him now. Here comes the 1-1. It's going to be outside. 2-1 on Brendan O'Brien. As San Martin and as O'Brien grounds this one over to Martinez and tosses over to Wilson and gets the out. I was about to say as San Martin and Bayless decide on a pitch, but it came really fast. I was like,
It's okay.
It caught me off guard there for a second. So Joe Maroney stands in now. Flew out both times to the right fielder Nick Buckner.
Buckner doing a lot of work out there.
The first pitch he saw was a ball, so 1-0 on him with 1 out. And the 1-0 comes in and he flies this one foul near the stands. So 1-1 on Joe Maroney.
The Beavers have a right-hander warming up in their bullpen, and so do the Hoppers.
And the 1-1 pitch is called a strike, so 1-2 on him now. And yeah, there's a little bit. Oh yeah, you're right. There's somebody throwing over in the Beavers bullpen.
I wish I had the binoculars.
Well, he pops this one up, but into the stands behind home plate. No, I don't think there's any chance on that one. No, there's not.
Great catch by a fan.
Yeah, somebody made a catch because they're all cheering, but I can't really tell from here. I don't think the binoculars would help you much because the umbrellas are all open.
That is true.
I can't tell what number he got on his back.
Haven't heard anything from Steve yet, so.
Steve, you're letting us down over there, man. As the 1-2 pitch comes in and called strike looking. So it's going to be a strikeout for him, the third of the ball game. This is the first one caught looking. As Chris Power steps in, sporting the half unbuttoned look. The first pitch to Chris Power is flown over pretty deep over in right field onto the warning track, and that one's gone.
Wow.
Yeah, that one's a home run for Chris Power, giving the Hoppers a 3-2 lead.
We have seen 2 home runs so far.
When it came off his bat, it looked like it might just be a fly ball, but Buckner just kept going, and then he was hopping on top of the wall, and that's when you kind of, better late than never, but realized that Chris Power had just hit a home run.
That definitely suits his name. He has the power, folks.
Yeah. So now Esteban Gomez will step in.
That would be his 3rd of the season.
Yes. So, yeah. Esteban Gomez steps in now with 0 for 2, but has drawn an RBI on a ground out. The first pitch to him is a ball. 1-0. So here comes the 1-0 to Esteban Gomez. And it's called a ball, so 2-0 now. As he fouls this one to the left side of home plate. Goes to 2-1 now.
Yeah, home run by Power was the 3rd hit for the ballgame for the Hoppers.
Here comes the 2-1. And that one's ball is fouled, so be 2-2. Oh, you said third hit.
Yes.
For some reason, I kept thinking you said third home run. I'm like, I think that's only the second one all the game. I just misunderstood you.
That's his third home run of the season.
Oh, okay.
So that's the second home run of this game, that is.
Getting all the statistics mixed up in my head.
A lot of stats.
So here comes the 2-2 pitch. That ball's high and outside, so it's going to go to a full 3-2. 2 outs on the inning. Here comes the 3-2. Swung on and drilled to the gap, and that's going to get down, but Clark is able to cut it off. And if that ball was on target, Esteban Gomez might not have gotten in there with a double.
Yeah, he was jogging there thinking he was there safely, but luckily it was off target, that throw.
Yeah, he got good contact that one and drilled it to the gap. Clark was able to cut it off, but I think if that throw was on target, I don't think Gomez would have been able to get second base, because he had to slide in nonetheless, even though that ball was in the dirt. But following that home run from Chris Power, now Esteban Gomez got a double. So now Cam Stewart steps in with a man in scoring position with 2 outs. The first pitch to Cam Stewart, he swings and he flies this one pretty high in the air. It's going to be shallow center field, and Rulis is going to make the catch. So Esteban Gomez was not able to come around to score, but Chris Power was able to hit a solo shot, giving the Eastside Diamond Hoppers a 3-2 lead after 5 innings of play. So coming up in the top half of the 6th inning, leading off is the number 5 hitter, Bobby San Martin. Following him is John Crink and Gerard Hernandez. So it's going to be a 3-2 lead in favor of the Hoppers, and we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the top of the 6th inning here at Jimmy John's Field. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here. The Diamond Hoppers reclaimed the lead last half inning off a solo shot from Chris Power. And now we have a pitching change for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers as Jeffrey Gauss takes the mound. Matt Rogers putting in a pretty good evenings of work. He went 5 innings, so he won't qualify for a quality start.
74 pitches only from him.
He only gave up 1 earned run, even though 2 scored. The second one was on an error, and only gave up 1 hit. So, I mean, besides the solo shot, he pitched pretty well.
He did.
He gave quite a few walks, though, which is probably the sole con of his outing today.
Now Jeffrey Gauss takes over.
And
4.5 innings pitched so far this season. He only gave up 4 hits and has 3 strikeouts and 2 runs.
as the count on Bobby San Martin is now 1-2.
Gauze out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Rogers finishes the game with 4 walks, which across 5 innings is not necessarily ideal,
No.
but that maintains his whip of 1 because he only gave up 1 hit. So across 5 innings, he has a whip of 1. So I guess if you're not going to give up hits, or change that. I guess if you're going to give up walks, only giving up 1 hit is a good way to counter that.
Gauss, and you know how we talked about the Tigers in Houston. Gauss was drafted back in the 14th round in 2014 by the Houston Astros.
San Martin swings and misses, but gets away from Figueroa, but he's able to throw it down to first in time. So it's going to be 1 out. So the first man Jeffrey Goss faces, he strikes out. So now John Crank will step into the batter's box. He's DHing for the Beavers today. And he looks at his first pitch from Gauss, and he fouls it into foul territory. Lots of room to run for a power. So it's going to be 0-1 on John Crank. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That ball is going to be it's going to be in for a strike. So 0-2 now. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And that's going to be called for a ball, though. So it's going to be 1-2. Looked pretty close in location to the last pitch, but was a hair more outside, so called for a ball. And that's going to be a strikeout looking for Jeff Gauss.
Just getting that outside corner.
So he starts off his relief appearance pretty strongly with 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 looking. So now Gerard Hernandez is going to step in and maybe try to change the flow a bit.
Make that 5 strikeouts right now for him of the season for Gauss.
And considering he's a reliever, that's pretty strong.
Yes, it is.
And the first pitch is swung on and missed on an 89-mile-an-hour fastball.
What a cut by Hernandez.
Yeah. He looked like he was swinging for the fences on that one.
Definitely had to adjust his batting helmet.
If it was a cartoon, you would have seen it spinning around his head. As he swings and misses at another one. It's going to be 0-2. And Jeffrey Gauss, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to jinx it.
But he's doing great.
And now you said it, so now you're going to jinx
Sorry.
it. I'm just messing with you.
Just had to say it. Had to finish what you were going to say.
I'll say it after he gets out of the inning.
All right.
Here comes the 0-2. And swung on and fouled behind home plate into the netting. Just going to stay 0-2. As Gerard Hernandez redoes his gloves, and he swings and fouls at that one into the netting. And now he's going to redo his gloves again. He's going to redo his gloves as many times as it takes to hit that ball properly, I suppose.
Yes, so you've got to adjust your batting gloves. You want to make sure you get good contact, too.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And swung on and fouled down the first base line, but it's going to stay foul. It's going to be 0-2 still. As he adjusts his batting gloves again. They're not tight enough until they cut off circulation. That's how I tied my hockey skates.
There you go.
Here comes the 0-2, and he's going to swing and miss. So Jeff Gauss is going to strike up the side.
Was I right?
You were right. You didn't jinx it, but Jeff Gauss just comes out of the bullpen and makes the Hoppers look like fools out there. 2 strikeouts swinging and 1 strikeout looking, and he says he strikes up the side. So it's going to be a 3-2 lead for the Hoppers going into the bottom of the 6th inning. And leading off for the Hoppers in the bottom of the 6th is the second baseman Cam Stewart. And following him is the DH John Mencken and the third baseman Casey Chenoweth. And we'll be back shortly. Got it. Thanks. So welcome back, everyone, to the bottom of the 6th inning. Due up for the Hoppers to start is Cam Stewart.
Attention, please. Now pitching for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, Alex Kinch.
And we have a pitching change for the Bloomfield Beavers. Alex Kinch in for relief. So both starting pitchers go only 5 innings. Bayless gives up 4 hits and 3 earned runs. The first pitch to Menken's going to be in for a ball, so 1-0.
Kinch, we've seen before. 4 innings pitch he has done this season to start. 2 hits, 4 strikeouts.
And meanwhile, Menken singles over to left field, so that'll be on 2 pitches. He'll take first base.
That'll bring up the third baseman, number 5, Casey Chenoweth.
So Casey Chenoweth will step in. Chenoweth so far today is 0 for 1 and has drawn a walk. And the first pitch to him is going to be a ball, so 1-0. As Chenoweth waits on the 1-0. Here it comes, and that ball's going to be low and outside, so 2-0 on him now.
Alex Kinch out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. Went to school to Wayne State.
Wayne State University.
The
It's
Warriors.
Pretty close to here in
Yes, it is.
regards to everything else, everywhere else these people are from. As he grounds this one over to the third baseman who throws over to first. So it's going to be...
That was a tight play at first, but he is out. That was close.
There's this windowsill right in the way, so I wasn't able to see the play, and I heard people going, oh, so I was like, did he leg it out?
No, but it was close.
I was a little confused there for a moment. So that's going to be a 5-3 putout as Kennan came across and made the play near the shortstop position. But it manages to advance John Menken from first to second. So with 1 out, you have a man at second, and Ricky Castro is up. As San Martin and Alex Kinch have a short discussion. Castro is 1 for 2 today. Hit a base hit in his first appearance. And the first pitch to Ricky Castro is going to be grounded over to the first baseman Wilson, and he'll take it over to first. So that'll be a quick out. That'll be a 3 putout. John Menken was able to advance to third, so they're slowly moving these guys along. As Kyle Figueroa steps in with a chance to extend the lead for the Diamond Hoppers. But with 2 men out, could really go either way. Here comes the first pitch to him, and he shows bunt but pulls it back. So it'll be called a ball. As it goes to 1-0 on Kyle Figueroa.
Grounded to the shortstop last time out, which was DJ Martinez.
Here comes the 1-0, and that's going to be in there for a ball. So 2-0 on him. As the 2-0 pitch comes in, and he swings and fouls this one way into the patios in right field. So 2-1, first strike of the at bat coming via foul. Here comes the 2-1. And it's going to be a ball. So it's going to go to 3-1 now on Kyle Figueroa. Figueroa in his previous 2 at-bats has grounded out both times. And he grounds this one, and it's going to be playable by Rulis. Tosses over to Wilson. He's going to get the out. So The Diamond Hoppers threaten, but they do not score. So after 6 innings of play, the Hoppers are leading 3-2. And coming up in the bottom half, or the top half of the 7th inning, the Beavers have DJ Martinez leading it off, followed by the second baseman Thomas Rulis and the left fielder Denandre Clark. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the top of the 7th inning, where Jeffrey Gauss retakes the mound for a second inning of work.
And he was dealing.
Yeah, he struck out the side his last inning out.
Hopefully he continues that trend. At least, not strikeouts, but I mean.
Well, I wouldn't mind.
Well, I wouldn't mind either, but at least get the job done.
It was definitely very entertaining to watch. 3 consecutive strikeouts for the inning. So now up for the Beavers, it's going to be DJ Martinez. And he is 0 for 1 today, but has reached on a walk. The first pitch to him is going to be called a strike, 0-1.
That pitch, 88 miles per hour.
That seems to be right around where his fastball is. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be called a strike as well. About in the same location as the first one, hitting the outside corner. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That ball's going to be low. 1-2 on him. And the 1-2 to DJ Martinez is going to be outside for a ball. 2-2 on him now. Here comes the 2-2. That ball's going to be low and inside in the dirt. So it'll go with 3-2. The first 3-2 count that Jeffrey Gauss has encountered on the day.
So, Brian, what do you think he does here now?
DJ Martinez?
Yeah.
I don't know if he can afford to take on it, because we've seen that Jeffrey Gauss is not afraid to throw strikes. So here comes the 3-2, and he swings on it and flies it into the air into shallow right field, where Maroney's going to call off Stewart and make the catch.
So you were right there.
I was right. That's the second time I've been right on these 3-2 counts.
You're doing good.
I'm learning.
You always learn. You learn something each and every single day.
Yes, that is true.
No matter what it may be.
And so Thomas Rulis is going to step in now. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Did reach on an error, though. The first pitch to him, he drives into left center field as O'Brien makes a diving catch.
Wow, what a catch by him.
Absolutely phenomenal. Showing his athletic talents out there.
Definitely got the fans cheering.
He absolutely robbed Thomas Rulis of at least a double. That ball was hit well. It hit to the gap, but O'Brien came in at full speed, made a diving play. really also keeping Jeffrey Gauss going because that may have killed the momentum for him
It may have.
because he's definitely been dealing in his first inning and 2/3 here. And the first pitch to DeAndre Clark is a ball down low, 1-0 on him. DeAndre Clark 0 for 2 today, reaching on a walk. Seems to be the story of the day is walks. Here comes the 1-0. And that's going to be a ball as well, so 2-0 on him now.
O'Brien, you can see him from out here with that pant leg all with the dirt on his right side.
That's from him sliding everywhere.
Yes.
As that ball is going to be a ball as well, so 3-0.
Definitely got down dirty there.
Here comes the 3-0 count, or 3-0 pitch, I mean. And it's going to be called a strike. Hitting basically the same location as the 3-0 pitch. But this time called for a strike. And here comes the 3-1 pitch, and he's going to fly this one over to right field. But Maroney's going to be able to get underneath it. So after a 1-2-3 inning where he struck out everyone, he has a 1-2-3 inning where he flies everyone out.
Doing good.
Yeah, so I guess if he follows this trend, if he comes out for the 8th inning, he'll ground out everyone. But
Yeah.
after 6.5 innings, it is 3-2 in favor of the Hoppers, and it's 7th inning stretch time. So we'll be back shortly.
Great catch in center field. Number 1, Brendan O'Brien.
Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 7th inning, where the Diamond Hoppers are due up. Brendan O'Brien to start the inning.
The one who made that diving catch last time out.
Yeah,
in
he
the inning.
made that fantastic diving catch out there in center field, robbing Thomas Rulis of a double. And the first pitch to him is going to be a strike. So 0-1 as Alex Kinch comes out for a 2nd inning of work. Second pitch to him is going to be a ball, so 1-1 on him now. Brendan O'Brien is 0 for 2 today. He reached on a walk in his first plate appearance. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Going to be outside, so it's going to go to 2-1 now. So here comes the 2-1 pitch. And that's going to be outside as well, so it's going to be 3-1 on him.
Something smells good.
Yeah. I smell it too. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Here comes the 3-1 pitch, and he's going to... Oh!
Wow.
And he hits that one right back to the mound where Alex Kinch, in kind of a defensive move, makes the catch.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, Brendan O'Brien took the pitch and gave it right back to Kinch and said he didn't want it. Kinch gladly took it. So that'll be a put out of 1.
Kinch like, thank you.
Yeah, well, Maybe not thank you.
No.
I'm sure that was pretty scary.
Well, you
for him.
know.
But and like he kind of twisted away and put his glove up in defense, and it went right into his glove.
That's a scary thing for pitchers.
I'm sure it is. It's probably similar to how the catchers feel when the pitchers throw it at their heads.
That is true.
So Joe Maroney steps in. He's already 0-1 on the count. On the day, he is 0-3, flying out to his fellow right fielder, Buckner, twice, and striking out looking his third time up. So now it's 0-2 on him after he swung and missed at the last pitch. He goes through his routine, steps back in. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and he swings and misses at that one. It's going to be a strikeout for him. Alex Kinch's first of the ball game.
And the second for Maroney.
Yes. As Chris Power, the man who gave the Hoppers the lead in the 5th inning, is back up on a solo shot to right field. If there was anyone sitting in the grass today, they would have gotten that ball, but with all the rain, they haven't. There's
2 kids out there.
Actually, now that I look at it, it looks like the rain has finally stopped. It's Chris Power's first pitch to him is called a strike.
And look at the 2 kids out there getting ready.
Oh, you're right.
Possibly.
They're wearing all black, so it's kind of tough for me to see, but you're right, they are out there. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and he's going to ground that one foul. The 0-2 on him now. They're being hopeful. They're hoping Chris Power repeats what he did the last time.
Crossing the fingers for them.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And that ball's going to be inside for a ball, and it gets away from San Martin. But with no one on base, there's no harm done.
Did get a piece of the ump there.
So it'll be 1-2. Yeah, the ump's no worse for wear, though. He's got pretty big padding underneath all that. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Chris Power, and it's going to be outside. So the count is even now at 2-2.
Wow. Bad pitch right back up to the mound.
Oh, from the throw from Bobby San Martin was a little off the mark, and it gets all the way to the outfield.
Now, of course, he's going to ask for a new ball.
Probably a little embarrassing, I'd imagine, for San Martin. And right you are on the new ball. Makes logical sense, though. Bull Boy gives more balls to the umpire. They've been burning through them today because of how wet the field of play is.
We got plenty of baseballs, don't worry.
Well, I'd hope so. Be a little embarrassing if he ran out. As the 2-2 pitch comes in, and it's going to be low. It's going to go 3-2. So after getting behind 0-2, Chris Power fights his way back and gets to a 3-2 count. And here comes the 3-2 pitch, and he swings and fouls this one left of home plate. So it's going to remain full 3-2 on him now. Here comes the 3-2 pitch, and he's going to swing and miss at that one. And the ball gets away from San Martin, so they're going to have to throw to first, and they get him.
Ooh, close play there at first.
Yeah, beat him by a couple steps. So it'll be 2 strikeouts for Alex Kinch as he goes 1-2-3 in this half inning. So it's going to remain a 3-2 lead in favor of the Diamond Hoppers as we go to the top of the 8th inning now. We're due up for them, and the top of the 8th is the third baseman Dan Cannon, the first baseman Nick Wilson, and the right fielder Nick Buckner. We'll be back shortly. All right, everyone. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here on this game between the Beavers and the Hoppers. Top of the 8th inning. Due up for the Beavers is Dan Kennan. And he's in the box already. And he is 0 for 2 today and has drawn a walk in his last plate appearance.
Beavers still only have 1 hit on the board.
Yes, as the Hoppers pitchers have done good work today.
Yes, they have.
So 0-1 already on Dan Kennan. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. He's going to swing and foul this one into the netting behind home plate. So go 0-2 on him. And yeah, Dan, Matt Rogers was out there for 2 runs, but only one of them was earned because one came off of an error. And that 1 earned run was off the solo shot from Nick Wilson.
Yes.
And that's the only hit of the ball game, as that one swung and missed, but gets away from Figueroa. But they throw it on to first and get him in time. So that'll count as a strikeout swinging for Jeff Gauss, his 4th of the ball game.
And impressive.
Yeah, 4 strikeouts and 2 1/3 innings of work is pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, like you were saying, that only 1 hit was a Nick Wilson homer. So the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers look to try to get some more hits on the board.
Well, speak of the devil, Nick Wilson's up to bat now, and
we have a mound visit.
Like you just mentioned, he has the lone solo shot, and I'm assuming they're probably going to discuss how to handle him. They might intentionally walk him again.
Yes.
They intentionally walked him in his second plate appearance in the 3rd inning.
It looks like they're going to the bullpen.
You would be right.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
You're right. After 2 1/3 inning pitch, Jeff Gauss exits the game with 7 consecutive outs, getting every man he faced out.
I don't know with this decision, but
I'm curious about it too, but someone is coming in from the bullpen. But let's tally up Jeff Gauss's stats here. As he goes 2 1/3 innings, gives up 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts. That was pretty easy.
yes, an easy night for him.
It's really easy to tally up some of the stats when they just do absolute work.
Yes. I'm
So.
still surprised that they went to the bullpen.
I'm surprised too, considering that Jeff Gauss is doing well, but they might not have a good track record together.
And I guess they're trying to get a different look for Wilson since he had time to see what Gauss threw back in a couple innings ago. So that's what I'm thinking.
Trying to just change it up and make it so that he doesn't know what the pitcher's delivering. As we have some more boy band music on the video board. I'm not really well versed in my boy band, so I'm not really sure which one this is.
It is Backstreet Boys.
It is, okay. Man, music videos were so different back then.
Yes, they were.
This one's very sci-fi themed.
Brings back the childhood days. The 90s at least.
Whatever happened to the Backstreet Boys? Did they just kind of fade
They
out?
did, but they're back.
They're back.
Yes, they are.
I swear to God, if you say Backstreet's back, I'm going to punch you.
Backstreet's back. All right.
I set myself up for that one.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. It's okay. But, yes, they are back. Very few.
Are they doing like a comeback tour? Is that the...
I have no idea.
Because they kind of faded out of existence. I don't know if they were falling out, but they were really big in the early 2000s.
But they certainly are back. But I think they're only doing a few concerts here and there. A world tour. I don't think they're on a world tour. I think they just pick selected venues.
Yeah, you're right. I got to imagine they'd still sell out. Like even just for the nostalgic value. So now Nick Wilson steps into the box, facing a new pitcher now.
It looks
And
like
it's going to be called for a strike, 0-1. Who's it, Dan?
it would be Torrey DeShazier.
DeSazier, huh?
Yes.
As we didn't get an announcement over the PA like we
It's all
normally do.
good.
And he swings and misses at this
I
one.
got
so
your back.
0-2. Where did my... Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Nick Wilson, and he swings and misses. So on 3 pitches, they strike Nick Wilson out. So Nick Wilson, he's got a very mixed bag. Like I said earlier, he's got a solo shot, an intentional walk, a double play, and a strikeout. So he is technically 1 for 3 on the day. But it looks like they were smart to go to the bullpen, giving him a pitcher he hasn't seen yet today.
Yes, they were.
And the rain begins to fall again here at Jim Field.
It sure is. But DeShazier.
DeShazier.
Yeah, DeShazier.
How do you?
I think I could say DeShazier. Whatever works.
Yeah.
4 innings pitch so far this season. He has a 1 win, 0 losses, 6 hits, 3 strikeouts.
Meanwhile, Nick Buckner grounded right up the middle to short, and that'll be it for the inning. So we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning now with the 3-2 lead in favor of the Hoppers. Due up for the Hoppers in the bottom of the 8th is the number 4 hitter, the first baseman Esteban Gomez. Following him is the second baseman Cam Stewart and the DH John Mencken. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 8th inning, where the Diamond Hoppers lead 3-2. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here. Esteban Gomez is going to lead it off for the Diamond Hoppers. He is 1 for 3 today, drawing a double and an RBI for the Diamond Hoppers.
We have been cruising through this game.
Yeah, it's been going by pretty fast. It's been what, 9? It's 9 o'clock now?
Yes, it is.
So
9:08.
2 innings, or 2 hours, and we're got an inning and a half left to play as Gomez swings and misses. So it'll be 1-1 on him now. Here comes the 1-1. It's going to be outside for a ball. 2-1 now on Esteban Gomez.
Hopper still clinging to that 1-run lead.
Here comes the 2-1. And swings and misses at that one. So it's going to be 2-2. Count is even. Yeah, it's been a bit of a back and forth game. The Beavers got out to an early lead with a solo shot via Nick Wilson. But then the Hoppers responded quite quickly with 2 runs of their own to retake the lead. And then the Beavers tied it. And made it 2-2. And then in the 5th, a solo shot from Chris Power gave the Hoppers the lead again. And here's the 2-2. It's going to be inside, so the count is going to be full now. 3-2 on Esteban Gomez.
Gomez had to move his arms out of the way there.
Interesting fact is last inning was the first inning where the Hoppers did not get a man on base, as that ball is grounded and then hopped when it hit the palm of the glove of Rulis into the outfield. So Gomez is going to reach safely.
Another error.
So that'll be an E4, I believe. Yeah, that ball hopped, and it looked like it hit the palm of Urulis's glove and hopped over top of him. Kind of trickled out into the outfield after that, and
Field can be quite tricky sometimes.
well, if there's like a groove in the outfield or the infield dirt or anything, it could hit that and bounce differently. Cam Stewart steps in, and he swings and misses at the first one, making it 0-1.
What a great turnout, though, tonight for this ball game. Despite the rain.
Considering the weather, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's also a Thursday night game, so you got to keep that in mind when looking at how many people showed up.
We have a great packed weekend ahead here at Jimmy John's Field.
0-2 now on Cam Stewart.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend. We got the Van Halen tribute band. We got fireworks. And Cam Stewart grounds this one up to the shortstop. He throws over to Urulis, who throws over to first and gets him and turns the double play. So Cam Stewart hits into a 6-4-3 double play, the second of the ball game, but the first one turned for the Beavers.
And the second double play we've seen in this game.
Yes, it is. So now John Makin's going to step in. Base is clear now after that double play. John Makin is 1 for 3 today. He hit into a single his last time up. Advanced to third, but unfortunately was not able to score. And the first pitch to John Makin is in, and it is called a ball as it is delivered low. So 1-0 now.
You can do some barbecuing this weekend, Brian? After the games, that is?
Maybe after the Sunday game. We usually get out of these games pretty late, a little late for barbecuing.
That is true.
But the Sunday or the Monday game, maybe Memorial Day. And then the 1-0 pitch is in, and it's going to be low and outside, 2-0. Memorial Day would be a great day to go barbecuing.
Hamburgers, hot dogs.
That does sound very good.
It does.
I used to work at a fast food place, so I know how to make a killer burger. Don't underestimate me.
You might have to cook me one.
Here comes a 2-0, and he swings and grounds this one. Be third base line, and it's going to be safe down there. He's going to leg it out as he kind of chopped that one and kind of trickled down the third base line. Kennan got to it, but Wilson could not get it to Wilson in time, and Mencken gets in on a infield single. So now Casey Chenoweth is going to come in with 2 outs, but a man on first.
Speaking of that killer burger, you're going to have to cook me one time.
Oh, I will. So trust me.
Good.
I've learned the techniques of making unhealthy burgers.
I'm in.
Here comes the first pitch to Casey Chenoweth of the at-bat. It's called for a strike. The secret is lots of salt.
Ooh.
It's true. You wouldn't believe how much salt adds to the flavor of a burger. Here comes the 0-1. And that ball's going to be inside, and it's going to get away from San Martin as John Menken's going to get into second safely. So 1-1 now, but a runner in scoring position for the Hoppers. Casey Chenoweth has a chance to extend the lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here goes the 1-1 pitch. It's going to fly that one straight up into the air.
Coming right back at us.
And San Martin doesn't know where it's at, and that's going to land in the stands behind home plate.
Just a few hours.
The entire time, it didn't look like anyone knew where that was at. San Martin was in the air with his hands up, like, where is it?
Just a few rows in front of us.
So it's going to go 1-2 now on Casey Chenoweth. I mean, that ball was hit straight up into the air, like, very high.
Yeah.
And I was trying to look at San Martin to see where it was at, but San Martin didn't know where it was at, so I didn't know where it was going to land.
I was paying attention to the fans.
Oh, that's a good idea, too, because they probably can see it pretty well. As the 1-2 pitch comes in to Casey Chenoweth, going to be called a ball, so 2-2.
When I seen those hands go up, I know it's coming our way.
As they try and catch it and ultimately fail. See, you never want to be the first one to get your hands on it because
No.
it's going to sting.
Yes, it is.
It's going to lose a lot of momentum coming off the hands of the first guy. So you got to be ready for the rebound.
That's why you bring your mitt to the ball game.
Yes, and if you bring a mitt, you don't have to worry about it stinging your hands as much. And he swings and misses at that one, so it's going to be a strikeout to end the inning. And despite threatening, the Hoppers do not score, but they remain in the lead, 3-2. And we're going to the top of the 9th inning. Last call for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Due up for them is Bobby San Martin, John Crink, and Gerard Hernandez. We'll be back shortly.
Player of the game goes to the catcher number 4.
Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 9th inning. Last call for the Beavers. And Torrey DeSazier is back out there to attempt to get the save in this one. As he went 1-2-3. I'm sorry, he only got 2 outs in the last half inning. He's only pitched 2/3 of an inning so far. As the first pitch to Bobby San Martin is in for a ball.
Came in after a great outing from Gauss.
Yeah, Gauss pitched great. He got 7 consecutive outs, 4 of which were strikeouts. As San Martin takes for a strike on the second one.
And if the Shazier closed this out, the Hoppers continue their winning and go to 6-2.
Yeah, they will. And it's going to be 1-2 now on Bobby San Martin as he takes again.
But watch out for those Beavers.
Well, it's
Despite
only
one hit they
it's,
have.
It's only a 1-run lead, and players play differently under pressure in clutch situations. As he swings, gets a piece of it, though, so it's going to remain 1-2. And if the Hoppers do end up winning, I mean, it's still up in the air because the game's not over yet. They will, like you said, Dan, go to 6-2, and they will have a pretty steady lead in first in the league. The Beavers will fall to 3-5, remaining under 500, but still leading their division. As that ball gets away from San Martin, goes in 2-2 now on San Martin. I'm sorry, when it got away from Figueroa, San Martin, the catcher for the Beavers, is in the batter's box.
It's been one of those nights.
That's not the most egregious of my errors today, so I'm not too upset about that one. Here comes the 2-2. And he swings and fouls this one into the stands to the right of home plate. So it'll remain 1-2 on him now. Here comes the 2-2. And it's going to be outside for a ball. Count is going to 3-2 now, full on Bobby San Martin. San Martin 0 for 2 today, only reaching because he was hit by a pitch.
Struck out twice.
Yeah, both times swinging. So, given his track record, let's see if I can go 3 for 3 today. I'd say that he's going to swing again.
We'll just wait and see.
And he takes, but he's called out. He's called out anyways. Struck out looking.
Obviously, Sam Martin has a few comments there on that pitch. Right back to the ump.
So now, Torrey DeShazer has pitched an entire inning and has gotten 3 outs. Well, only 1 out in this inning, though. As he strikes Bobby San Martin out looking, John Crank steps in, and the first pitch to him is called a strike.
The Hoppers do have a right-hander warming up. Or actually a lefty, it is. But I don't know. I think DeShazer could possibly get this done.
And the second pitch to John Crank is in for a ball, so it'll be 1-1 on him.
But you never know what can happen.
Well, they might go to a situational pitcher, someone who's got a good track record against Gerard Hernandez. But depending on what happens here, we'll see. As it goes to 1-2 now on John Crank. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And he swings and fouls that one. And that one zipped underneath the feet of
third base coach for the
Newell.
Beavers.
Yeah, Newell.
Yep. Watch out.
So it'll remain 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And that ball's going to be outside, called for a ball. Gets away from Figueroa, but no one's on base, so no harm, no foul.
We have seen a lot of balls get away from the catchers tonight.
Yeah, control's been a little bit iffy today. We've had a couple hit-by pitches, and so it's been interesting tonight, but the wet conditions aren't helping any. I'm sure it's hard to control the ball with the constant rain.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the 2-2. And that ball's grounded over to Ricky Castro, and he's going to throw over to Esteban Gomez and get him. So now, that 6-3 put out, we are going 1 out away from ball game.
And the Hoppers win.
So it's up to Gerard Hernandez to make a difference here. But he is 0 for 3 today in the ball game.
Gauss and DeShazer have done a great job coming in for the Hoppers.
Yes, they have. Both of them getting outs when they needed. Jeff Gauss, obviously getting 7 consecutive outs doesn't hurt. And the first pitch to Gerard Hernandez is a strike, so now we're only 2 strikes away from a Diamond Hoppers victory. Here comes the 0-1, and that ball is it's hit fair down the first base line to Gomez, and he's going to be out. So it'll be a 3 put out to end the ball game, and Figueroa goes an inning and 2/3.
That is DeShazer.
I'm sorry, yes, DeShazer. And the Hoppers are going to extend their
Winning streak. Winning streak.
Well, their record to 6-2. So we're going to tally things up here. Hoppers win 3-2, and we'll be back shortly. All right, welcome back, everyone, for our quick little post-game chat. The Hoppers beat the Beavers 3-2 today, and the Beavers go to 6-2 on the season. The Hoppers go to 6-2 in the season, while the Beavers fall to 3-5, and the Hoppers maintain their lead in the league.
Yes, they do.
Strong pitching performances by the starting pitchers for the Hoppers and Matt Rogers, Jeff Gauss, and Torrey DeSazier. I'll never be able to pronounce that one correctly.
It's okay.
It's a tough name.
Yes, it is.
Matt Rogers went 5 innings, gave up 1 hit, 2 runs. Only 1 earned, though. Only 1. That was off the solo shot from Nick Wilson, with only 1 strikeout. And then Jeff Gauss, obviously, got 7 consecutive outs, and then Torrey DeShazier came in and got the next 4 to end the ball game. So they had 11 consecutive outs to end the ball game. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, Gauss came in with those 4 strikeouts. That was amazing. And then Torrey DeShazier closing it out for the Hoppers. Now, for the Birmingham Beavers, they only got 1 hit on the board. Again, we've seen it twice already happen this season. But it's okay. Hopefully they can get out of this losing habits.
This losing skid, yeah. The Beavers only have, like you said, 1 hit, so they got 1 hit today. And it's a little disappointing that 1 hit came from Nick Wilson on that solo shot, because he was the man who provided all your power last season, and you're hoping that someone else will step up to the plate. And I just did the math, and there were 13 consecutive outs that the Hoppers got to end the ball game. You only get 27 outs in a ball game that runs 9 innings. So that means half of their outs were the last came consecutive at the end of the game.
Wow. Yeah,
there was just nothing at the plate for the Beavers
No,
today.
not at all. And like you said, Nick Wilson, that's definitely the guy to watch out for throughout the rest of the season. One of the guys. But once again, the Hoppers improving that they're winning, that one team that wants to beat them. The Unicorns tried to, and that was last Saturday in the extra innings, but went the Diamond Hoppers' way, and I don't know what team could actually beat this team right now.
Well, I got to give your offensive player of the game, I think, has to go to Chris Power.
Yes.
Because Chris Powell in the bottom of the 5th inning hits a solo shot to give the lead, and ended up being the game deciding play. That solo shot powered them to win, and on top of that, he went 1 for 2 because his other two of the player appearances he had were walks. So he was patient at the plate and made plays when he made that offensive play when he had to.
Of course, that 7th inning wasn't too patient, was stricken out, but it's okay.
He struck out in his 4th plate appearance, but up until that point, he was doing great. And I don't think that 1 strikeout across 4 plate appearances is going to really sully the taste in his mouth of getting the game-winning home run.
Yeah.
And like we mentioned, there were strong pitching performances from the Hoppers, but that's not taking away from Alex Kinch's relief appearance either.
No.
Alex Kinch came in relief for Brian Bayless in the 6th inning and pitched 3 scoreless innings. Only gave up 2 hits and struck out 3. Didn't give up a single walk. It's a little bit of a shame that his team lost today, considering how well he pitched.
Yeah. But you know what? The Beavers just got to shake this one off, and every game's a brand new game.
Yeah, well, every day is brand new.
Yes.
And so they have a lot of season left to play. I wouldn't count anything out now, because we saw last season that the Unicorns, despite having the worst record in the league during the regular season, ended up winning the championship. So if anything, you know that anything's possible.
Yes, it is. And speaking of a great weekend we have here at USPBL, it's going to be a long weekend. We have, instead of 4 games, we have 5 days this time around.
Yes, because we have a game on Memorial Day as well on Monday.
Yes, and that's always special.
That's a 1:35 start, correct?
Yes, it is. So looking at tomorrow night's matchup, you have the Woolly Mammoths and the Unicorns. And by the way, it's Friday night fireworks here at the ballpark every single Friday night. And they're spectacular, Brian.
Oh, they are. I see them a lot. I mean, I'm here every Friday, so.
Yes, they are. And then Saturday, we have the Unicorns taking on the Hoppers at 7:05. And by the way, it's Van Halen night.
I absolutely cannot wait for that, because I love Van Halen.
Yes, me too. What's your favorite song from him?
Oh, it's got to be something. I think it's Jump or maybe Panama. I have a lot of songs
Yes,
I like by him.
I like Right Now.
Right Now's a good one.
They get you always pumped up before the game.
Yeah.
Now, moving on for Sunday afternoon game, we have 1:35 start. The Beavers will be back in action against the Woolly Mammoths. And I think that's helicopter candy drop. I don't know what that entails.
I'm assuming they're going to drop candy from a helicopter.
You could be possibly right. And then Monday, we have another 1:35 start. You have the Diamond Hoppers back in action, taking on the Unicorns. And for that promotion, it's Memorial Day, of course. So each fan who attends the ball game will get a Star-Spangled hat.
Oh, I wouldn't mind one of those.
I wouldn't either. But it's going to be a great weekend. Hopefully,
Every
great.
weekend's a good weekend here at USPBL.
Crossing the fingers, we have great weather, unlike tonight, and of course past Sunday.
Well, it's supposed to be nice tomorrow.
Yeah.
And with the fireworks, that works out great.
Yes, it does.
So,
bring your kids out all weekend long.
yep. And repeating one more time, the Hoppers beat the Beavers 3-2 in a close game. And from Jimmy John's Field, I'm Brian Fisher with Dan Dobler, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow. Please tune in.